She was the high I couldn't quit, and the dose that almost killed me. I've moved shipments worth more than a small country. Watched men beg for mercy with a gun in their mouths. Nothing ever made my pulse jump until her. Camila Torres. Med school perfect. The kind of girl who should have crossed the street when she saw me coming. Instead, she stepped closer. It started the night of the Valencia raid. Blue lights flashing. Sirens slicing the air. I was delivering a package worth a lifetime in prison when she ran out of the alley. Eyes wide. Breath sharp. Wrong place. Wrong time. And somehow exactly what I needed. "Hide me," she whispered, trembling. I should have walked away. Instead, I dragged her behind the dumpster, pressed my body against hers to keep her silent. Her heartbeat hammered against my chest. Fast, reckless, like a shot of pure adrenaline. When the cops cleared, I looked down at her. Dark hair tangled, lips parted. A med student with no reason to be in a cartel alley at midnight. I told myself it was curiosity that made me keep her name. But the truth? One look and I was already hooked. Later, when she showed up at my club, eyes glittering with questions, I should have turned her away. Instead, I poured the first drink, watched her take the first taste, and felt the first crack in the empire I'd built. Camila didn't know it yet, but that night we both took our first hit. Camila should have stayed a memory, a girl with wide eyes and shaking hands, a heartbeat I could still feel in the dark. Instead, 3 nights later she walked into my club. Rain on her hair, a white dress that didn't belong in a place like this. For a second I thought I'd imagined her. No one like her came here, not without a death wish. "I need to thank you," she said, voice barely audible over the bass. "I don't accept thank yous." I leaned close so only she could hear. "I take favors." Her breath hitched. "What kind of favor?" The question was her first mistake, because now I could name my price. "1 night," I said. "Work the bar. Just tonight." Her brows drew tight. "I'm not." "Then walk away." I cut in. "Forget I ever pulled you out of that alley." For a heartbeat she hesitated. Then she nodded. I gave her a black silk choker with the club's insignia. "Wear this. It means you're under my protection." Her fingers brushed mine as she tied it around her neck. Warm, soft, dangerous. The kind of touch that made men burn down cities. All night I watched her pour drinks. The med student princess lost in a world of neon and smoke. Every time she smiled at a customer, jealousy scraped my skin raw. I told myself it was just business, just a debt being paid. But when closing time came and she leaned across the bar, her eyes shining like she'd tasted something she shouldn't, I knew this wasn't a favor. It was the start of something I couldn't control. Camila should have gone home after that night at the bar. Instead, she came back. 3 nights in a row. Always with an excuse. Always leaving later than she promised herself. By the 4th night, she didn't bother with excuses. The club's VIP room pulsed with bass and shadows. I watched her slip inside, the black choker still around her neck. It wasn't jewelry anymore. It was a leash, and she knew it. She stopped in front of me, heart racing beneath a white silk blouse. "I don't drink," she said. Her voice trembled but her eyes didn't. "Then don't," I replied. "Try something stronger." I slid a small silver tray across the table. A single line of white. Clean. Expensive. Deadly. She stared at it, lips parted. A med student. She knew exactly what it could do. "This isn't me," she whispered. "Neither is hiding behind dumpsters," I said softly. Her breath shivered. Then she leaned forward. The sound of the straw against glass was quieter than my heartbeat. 1 breath, 1 taste, and she looked up at me with eyes wide enough to swallow the room. "Now," I said, voice rough, "you understand." She laughed. A light, broken sound. And for the first time, I wanted to burn my whole empire just to hear it again. Morning sunlight doesn't care about sins. It slices through curtains, unforgiving. Camila sat across from me in the after-hours haze, hair a tangled halo, fingers tapping against a forgotten coffee. "You don't get to own me," she said. "I don't need to," I answered. "You keep coming back." Her jaw tightened. "I have exams. Then study." "I can't." She stopped, biting the word. "Can't stay away. Can't quit the rush. Can't stop wondering if I'd call her again." I reached for her hand. She didn't pull back. "Go to class," I said. "Pretend tonight didn't happen." Her eyes narrowed. "Is that an order?" "It's mercy." She left before dawn. But by noon a message lit my phone. "You forgot something." A photo. The black choker on her desk, wrapped neatly around a stack of medical textbooks. She was trying to remind me she had another life. But beneath the picture, a single line of text. "When's the next shipment?" I stared at the screen, heat crawling through my chest. Med student. Good girl. Already lying to herself. White lies always come before blood. The cartel smells weakness the way sharks smell blood. By the end of the week, whispers followed me through every meeting. "She's new. She's clean. She's his." I hated that last word because it was true. Camila showed up at the club again, wearing the choker like a challenge. I wanted to drag her into the back room, lock the door, and keep her hidden from every set of eyes watching her walk past. Instead, I stood at the bar, forcing myself to stay still. "Your men look at me like I'm a prize," she said, sliding onto the stool. "They look at you like you're bait." She tilted her head. "Am I?" "Not if you stay away." "And if I don't?" I leaned close, voice a razor. "Then someone will use you to get to me, and I'll have to kill them." She swallowed hard but didn't back down. "You'd kill for me?" I stared into those fearless eyes and saw the trap snapping shut. "No," I said. "I'd kill because of you." A rival lieutenant entered the club then, eyes locking on her. The room shifted, every man on alert. I pulled her behind me, hand brushing the gun at my waist. The sharks had smelled blood, and tonight they wanted to test if I'd spill it. The rival lieutenant didn't last the night. A quiet warning. A gun pressed to his ribs in the alley. Message delivered. But the danger lingered long after he left. So did she. Camila waited for me in the back room, arms crossed, eyes burning. "You said I'd be safe under your protection," she snapped. "You are," I said. "Then why did you almost shoot a man over me?" I stepped closer until the heat between us erased the space. "Because he looked at you like you were his next shipment." Her breath caught. "That's not protection," she whispered. "That's possession." Maybe it was. I didn't care. I pressed a hand to the wall beside her head. "Tell me to stop." She didn't. The kiss hit like gunfire. Fast, brutal, inevitable. Her fingers clawed my shirt, pulling me deeper. I tasted adrenaline and the faint chemical sweetness of her last hit. For the first time in years, I forgot the empire waiting outside the door. Forgot the rules. Forgot the cost. When we finally broke apart, her lips were swollen, her eyes wide. "This is wrong," she breathed. "Everything worth having is," I said. And in that moment, I knew I'd kill 1,000 men before I let anyone take her from me. Days bled into nights. Nights into a haze of neon, kisses, and white powder. Camila skipped classes. I skipped meetings. Every time she touched me, the cartel's balance sheet blurred into irrelevance. She studied my world like an anatomy textbook, learning the codes, the shipments, the lies that kept us alive. "You're supposed to be saving lives," I said one night, brushing hair from her eyes. "Maybe I'm saving yours," she whispered, but every dose cut deeper. Her hands trembled when she reached for the tray. Her pupils widened until I could see galaxies inside them. I told myself I'd stop her, that I'd pull her back before the fall. But every time she leaned into me, asking for just one more, I gave it to her, not because she needed it, because I needed her. And when she finally curled against me, breathing fast and shallow, I realized the truth. She wasn't the one addicted. The first call came from her brother. "Where is she?" a man's voice demanded. You don't know me, but I know you. Stay away from Camila or I swear. I hung up before he finished. The second warning came from my uncle, the boss. You're distracted, he said, eyes sharp as a blade. Word is, a med student's got your attention. She's nobody, I lied. Nobody doesn't wear your protection mark in public. He leaned forward. In this business, weakness is fatal. Cut her loose, or I will. That night, Camila found me on the balcony, cigarette burning between my fingers. What happened? She asked. Family business. Her eyes softened, but she didn't press. She just slipped her hand into mine. It should have comforted me. Instead it felt like a countdown. Because now I knew the truth. If the cartel decided she was a problem, they wouldn't threaten her. They'd remove her. And I'd have to choose between blood and love. Between the empire I'd built and the woman who'd already ruined me. Started with a phone call. A voice I didn't know, low and mocking. We have something of yours. Then a muffled cry, Camila. My blood went cold. She's unharmed, for now. The caller continued. Bring the shipment from the South Docks. Midnight. Alone. Or the med student dies. The line went dead. I crushed the phone in my hand. Rival cartel. Only one crew bold enough to take her. I should have gone through channels, assembled a team. But logic doesn't exist when the person you love is screaming in the dark. By nightfall I had a plan. And enough firepower to start a war. Before leaving, I found the choker she'd left on my dresser. I slipped it into my pocket like a promise. Tonight, someone was going to bleed. The South Docks smelled of salt and gasoline. Moonlight glinted off crates of cocaine worth millions. Camila knelt at the edge of the pier, hands bound, a gun pressed to her temple. Easy, Vega, the rival boss called. Slide the shipment across and walk away. Behind him, a dozen armed men waited for my first mistake. I kicked the crate forward. It skidded across the wet boards, white bricks stacked like silent ghosts. Now her, I demanded. The boss smirked. Business first. Pleasure. A single shot cracked the night. His body jerked, a red bloom spreading across his chest. Chaos erupted. Gunfire tore through the air. I dove for Camila, cutting her restraints as bullets sparked off metal. Move! I shouted, dragging her toward the speedboat. She stumbled, crying out as splinters sliced her arm. Another shot whistled past. I turned, fired twice. 2 men dropped. Engines roared. We sped into the black water, leaving smoke and bodies behind. Camila clung to me, shaking. You killed them, she whispered. They tried to take you, I said. The words tasted like truth and damnation. After the docks, there was no going back. The cartel war began before sunrise. Every phone call carried death. Every shadow held a gun. I did the only thing that might keep her alive. I disappeared. No calls. Not a single visits. Camila's messages lit my burner phone like flares. Where are you? Please, Adrian. I can't breathe without you. I read every word and forced myself not to answer. Days blurred into sleepless nights. Meetings. Deals. Blood on concrete. I buried myself in the business until nothing human remained. But withdrawal isn't just for addicts. Every hour without her was a knife. Every dream carried her scent. The craving grew until I thought it would tear me apart. And still I stayed away. Because loving her meant death. And I'd rather suffer alone than watch them put a bullet through her heart. The night she found me, I thought I was hallucinating. Camila stormed into the warehouse mid-meeting. Rain dripping from her hair, eyes burning like headlights. My men reached for their guns. I raised a hand. Get out! She snapped at them. No fear, just fury. When the room emptied, she stepped closer, chest heaving. You think disappearing keeps me safe? Her voice cracked. I almost died because of you, and you leave me to withdraw. Her hands trembled, whether from rage or chemicals I couldn't tell. I had to, I said. No, she hissed. You wanted to. I grabbed her wrists before she could hit me. The contact shattered every defense I'd built. She was shaking, but she didn't pull away. "You can't protect me by breaking me," she whispered. Her words cut deeper than any bullet. I pulled her against me, mouth crashing to hers in a kiss that tasted of salt, rain, and raw need. Relapse isn't always chemical. Sometimes it's a heartbeat. And tonight I overdosed. Camila refused to leave. "If I run, they'll keep hunting me," she said. "Teach me. Let me fight." It was madness, but her eyes, steady, unflinching, left no room for argument. So I taught her how to spot a tail, how to chamber a round, how to breathe when pulling the trigger. Within days, she moved like a shadow beside me. The rival cartel struck first. We struck back harder. Street by street, we carved our way through their empire. Every night we returned blood-stained, adrenaline drunk. Every night we clung to each other like survivors of the same storm. During a midnight raid, she covered my flank, firing with precision that made hardened soldiers stare. Afterward, we stood over the last shipment, millions in white powder and blood. "This ends tonight," she said. I looked at her, proud and terrified. "If we do this," I warned, "there's no coming back." She met my gaze. "There never was." We sealed the plan with a kiss. Not passion, but a blood oath. The final assault burned like a fever. Bullets ripped through the rival stronghold. Flames licked the night sky. Camila stayed glued to my side, fearless and lethal. Then everything slowed. A big flash. A scream. Camila collapsing beside me. I dropped to my knees, blood spreading across her shirt. "No, no, no, stay with me." Her eyes fluttered. "You promised protection," she whispered. I pressed my hands to the wound, shouting orders, killing anyone who came near. The world narrowed to her pale face and the siren wail of approaching ambulances. I carried her through fire and gunpowder, refusing to let go. Somewhere behind us, the cartel I'd built crumbled to ash. All I cared about was the girl in my arms. The girl who had become my only addiction. Hospital lights are cruel. They reveal every scar, every sin. Camila lay pale but breathing, monitors beeping like fragile heartbeats. I held her hand, thumb tracing the faint bruises on her wrist. "You're safe," I said. "Because you killed them," she whispered. "I ended it," I corrected. "No more shipments. No more wars." Her eyes searched mine, dark and endless. "What about us?" I swallowed the truth. That loving me would always be a risk. That my blood would never wash clean. "You have a future," I said softly. "Go back to school. Be free." Her fingers tightened around mine. "You think freedom tastes better than this?" The question hung between us, heavier than any bullet. I leaned closer, forehead to hers. "You're the high I can't quit," I admitted. "But if you stay, it might kill us both." Camila smiled, a slow, dangerous curve. "Then let's die alive." Her lips met mine, and for the first time I stopped fighting. Love or addiction, life or death, it didn't matter anymore, because some highs are worth the fall. Thanks for listening. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more dark romance stories.